If I told you that the skills of a psychologist could be utilized to find and apprehend a dangerous criminal, would you be surprised? Probably not if you watch a lot of CSI and legal shows. But that's what a forensic psychologist does. It's just one of the facets of psychology. It's actually what I wanted to do for a living when I was a teenager, but I decided to change my mind because I didn't want to graduate from the FBI Academy. So I decided to go ahead and stick with psychology as my college major, but instead focus on hopefully counseling individual law enforcement officers instead. I wanted to tell you about psychology today because there's some interesting information about it. I wanted to make you better understand psychology as my college major. In order to do that, I wanted to share with you a few important points. First off, we need to define psychology. What is psychology? What is the role of a psychologist? What are some important concepts related to psychology? Who are some of the notable scientists in the field of psychology who were relevant in the late 19th and early 20th century, who are still relevant today and appear in almost every psychology book that you're going to read? And how is psychology applied to the many different aspects of modern society? Psychology is an academic discipline that involves scientific study of the mental functions and behavior. According to Webster's dictionary, psychology is the study of the human mind, also of mental or behavioral characteristics of an individual or group. It's also the study of mind and behavior in relationship to a particular field, knowledge, or activity. The role of a psychologist includes many different aspects. What does a psychologist do? According to the United States Bureau of Labor and Statistics, a psychologist performs the following functions. They study the human mind. They also try to explain why people act as they do. They do research, they collect interviews, surveys, and help people with that information. They usually specialize. As I mentioned before, a forensic psychologist helps law enforcement apprehend criminals through criminal profiling. They also help people deal with everyday living. Some work with schools to help students with behavioral problems. Others may help solve problems in places of work, such as an organizational psychologist. Psychologists explore many different concepts. What are some of the concepts that they explore? Perception. How do you view yourself? How do you view other people? Cognition, the process of thinking. Why do you think the way you do? How do you process information? What do you think about? Emotion, such as love, hate, anger, jealousy, lust. Mental disorders such as anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia are just some of the disorders that they study. They also study personality, identifying personality types and helping people work with different personalities and different aspects of life. Psychology includes many different thinkers from the late 19th and early 20th century whose theories are still relevant today. People such as Wilhelm Wundt, who is actually the father of psychology. He was responsible for the founding of psychology in 1879. Everybody knows who Sigmund Freud is. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, Freud was the creator of psychoanalysis. Carl Jung provided useful terminology for discussing the human mind and consciousness. According to Contemporary Review, he refined the terms introvert, extrovert, conscious, unconscious, persona, and archetype. He was influenced by Sigmund Freud. Psychology is relevant to many different applications in social and academic settings. Some of the applications include a psychiatrist. A psychiatrist is a psychologist but also has a medical degree. He's able to provide diagnosis and also prescribe medication. A psychologist is not able to prescribe medication as he does not have a medical degree. A certified family counselor can help families deal with stress management, children, marital problems, spousal abuse, infidelity, and finances. A certified family counselor normally has a master's, but a lot of times they also have a PhD. Schools. There's always a school counselor at every school. They help children deal with bullying, with poor grades and improving grades, and helping children move from one grade to the next. In the workplace, an organizational psychologist helps deal with personnel management. They can also help with reviews of performance of employees. And last, with law enforcement, as I mentioned before, with forensic psychology. A forensic psychologist aids in profiling law enforcement in order to find and apprehend criminals. In this speech, I have explored the interesting field of psychology. We have covered the definition of psychology, the role of a psychologist, interesting concepts related to psychology, a review of some of the men who have a strong influence today in the field of psychology, and the application of psychology in modern society. So the next time you think that psychology is boring or that it doesn't apply to you, please remember this speech and observe that psychology is all around you. And this is my audience. 5 people and a cat. Oh, pan back around.